Okay, in this video, we're going to be doing a walkthrough on the handlebar controls of your Graffiti X. Starting on the right-hand side here, we have your full twist throttle. Next to that's a red button. This is your throttle cancel. So when you're pushing this, walking this bike, moving it in and out of the garage, in and out of your parking spot, pushing it into a store, if you've got the bike turned on, you want to make sure that the throttle cancel is on. That way, if you accidentally pull on the throttle while you're moving the bike's not going to take off on you. Right next to that is the key. So turning the key on, you'll notice that my lights on the front and the rear turn on. When the bike is turned on, but the display isn't on, pulling on the brake handle will not change or turn the brakes on. Speaking of brakes, right next to that is our Magura MT5 brakes. What you'll notice on the brake lever here is that there's a small break in the brake lever. When I just barely engage the brake lever, you can see it come apart a little bit. That's purposeful. As it comes apart, that's when it engages your regen. This gives the signal to the motor to turn the motor off and engage the regen of the bike. So without pulling in the brake entirely, your regen will turn on. When you pull the brake the rest of the way, it'll apply the standard brake. So it's good to know this, to know that if you just want to engage the regen, just pull it in the slight amount and the regen will turn on. Moving down the handlebar to its attachment on this direct mount stem. This is a 31.8 millimeter stem. So if you're looking for an aftermarket replacement handlebar, what you're going to be looking for is something that comes in 31.8 millimeters. That's the size of this direct mount stem here. Right next to that is your display. So now that I have the key engaged, I can go ahead on the left-hand side here, hold the power button down, and you'll see my display turn on. We'll go through some of the settings and the features in the display a little bit later. But for regular riding, what you'll see is the time at the top, which you can set when you receive your bike. Right next to that is the voltage remaining. We always leave it on voltage remaining because it's easiest to be able to know and completely understand how much battery you have left, knowing that fully charged is 67.2 volts. And at the end of the battery, it's 51 volts. And then your trip meter down below. And if I press menu on the side here, I can get time and the full odometer on the bike. Coming over here to the left, we have your display controls. So the up and down arrows, this will change my assist levels when I press them up and down. And this is for both pedal and throttle levels. We have it set out of the factory default on 9 levels. You can pick 3 or 5, whatever works best for you. Right next to that, we have all of the buttons that are going to change your lights, your horn, and your road and off-road settings. So I'll go through those one at a time. So at the top here, when you turn your bike on, you have your daytime running lights running. And what I can do is I can apply either my low beam or my high beam at the click of this button. Down next to that is your turn signals. I turn the right one on, turn the left one on. Now these are not self-canceling. You do have to move the switch back towards the middle when you're done. Underneath that is the horn. And underneath that, this is your road and off-road button. So this is going to toggle between the road and the off-road settings. So your restricted settings and your unlimited settings. Use this button to move in and out of areas where you've got bike paths, bike lanes, in parks and areas where you need to keep the bike in its legal settings. And then when you're in off-road, you can click the button and you're going to be ready for the unlimited power of the Graffiti X. That's the walkthrough of your handlebar controls.